Hello learners and welcome to EDU 693, your capstone course for your degree in master's degree in education. My name is Jason Lowry. I have the privilege of serving you as the lead facilitator here for this course. I also have the privilege of serving WLC as the Director of Graduate Studies. It's been a pleasure working with many of you to this point, and I look forward in serving you here in the coming weeks as we work together through the capstone project. What you see before you here is the course shell for this semester. A couple things I want to share with you as we walk through this together is just a few of the ideas that make this course slightly different from others you've taken within your master's degree program. As you see here before you, as we scroll down here and take a look at some of the materials, you'll notice that there are a lot of preliminary pieces here. You've spent a significant amount of time throughout your program attending residencies and workshops and things of that nature, getting yourself ready for this independent research portion of your program. You've spent a little bit of time perhaps in a practicum or student teaching setting looking for a particular angle or idea to run with. You've spent some time refining that in EDU 692, your research design. And finally, this is your opportunity to put all of this together. So these materials that you see here are going to be helpful for you as you get started moving forward. So under the course materials, you'll see that the syllabus information is available for you right here. If you click on there, you can see the ins and outs of that, and I highly encourage as you begin this course to take a look at the syllabus. What are the goals and objectives that we have set out for you during this 16-week process? One key feature of the course that is different from others is that many of you in this course will be assigned what we call a capstone mentor. This person is specifically assigned to pair up with you and work individually with you throughout this 16-week process. This person will be there to bounce ideas off of, to share information with, to get some guidance on whether this pathway is a better way than another pathway to go forward. This capstone mentor will be there to keep you accountable to the chapters that you're going to do as you move forward. They will also serve as an editor, a copy editor, or a proofreader to many of your chapters as you move forward. And this capstone mentor will also serve as one of your 3 capstone committee members at the conclusion of this course when you deliver your findings for your final oral presentation. Some of you will have these instructors here: Dr. Sarah Edens, Dr. Ron Russ, Chris Yoke, Jason Lowry, and Dr. Carol Krause are the capstone mentors throughout this project. I'll be serving with many of you, and then some of you will have these folks as your advocates working through the process. I added a PowerPoint slide here to just give you an idea of this transitional phase that you're in right now. Again, this is the culminating piece of your program, and so you're in this full independent research mode here as we go forward in the final 16 weeks of your program. And that carries with it a little bit of a difference between where you've been throughout the other courses. This course is going to be highly independent. You will work with your capstone mentor very closely throughout the next 16 weeks, engaging in discussions on about an every other week basis. You'll reflect upon your work on the opposite weeks when you don't talk to your mentor, offering written reflections on your work as you go through your process of gathering your research and telling us about your findings. So this little file here on transition to independent researcher helps you get an idea of what it's like to live in that independent research stage. The amount of collaboration that you do during this course will be significantly less than in other courses, where you've become accustomed to using many forums and things of that nature. Those are reduced significantly in this course to allow you the time to work at the pace that is appropriate for your work throughout the next 16 weeks. You'll see a little bit of information there about research at Wisconsin Lutheran College. This is really the link to the Institutional Research Board. One of your first assignments as you get going here is submitting your information to the IRB to make sure that everything that you're doing meets the highest ethical standards possible and that you do not put anybody in jeopardy of saying or doing anything that might be unethical along the way. The IRB does a very thorough job of making sure that you have met all the ethical considerations moving forward. In the written and oral presentation expectations there are a couple of things I would like to highlight for you here. The first one being this capstone research outline expanded. This document will become one of the key pieces you'll have in front of you throughout the entire time that you're in this course. So throughout the 16 weeks that we're together, this is going to guide you through each and every step of the 5-chapter written project that you're going to put together for this course. And it's expanded in the sense that you'll see the general skeleton of how this paper is set up in the 5 chapters. As you dig through into the document, pages approximately 3 and following, you'll start to see that each one of those points is expanded on a little bit further. To help you with that even further, I've supplied you with some video tutorials that will help you walk through that. The outline is a good outline in the sense that it gives you a sample of what one would look like if you were doing action research in a classroom, but perhaps you're doing something more professional development based. Perhaps you're doing something a little bit more curricular and it doesn't have things to do with kids directly. Well, throughout these series of video tutorials, approximately 5 to 7 minutes in length, I attempt to walk through how many of these things might play out should you be doing something that's not directly student related. So I highly recommend that as you get to some of these points in your paper, you take a look and make sure that some of these ideas are reflected exactly the way that you want it in your paper. And hopefully these tutorials will help you in a little bit more depth work towards laying that out and articulating your message in just the way that you want that. The capstone research paper evaluation rubric is there for you, so as you start working through this process, you'll get a clearer understanding of what it is we're expecting from you and what we'll be scoring you on as far as evaluation at the conclusion of your project, so take a look at that. And also the oral presentation rubric. This rubric will be the component where your committee will sit down and score your ability to articulate your idea in a hour-long project summary setting. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on in the course. That will happen towards the tail end of your time in EDU 693. From there, you'll see the weeks are laid out for you here. What you'll notice is there are not a ton of key components here in each of the individual weeks. As you can kind of see here, week 1 has some very basic things. You have very important things to do to kind of set yourself up for the future chapters moving forward here in your project. So the first thing you'll see there is an IRB proposal form. Some of you that have just finished 692 are aware of this as an assignment coming forward. We do want you to provide us with some introductory slides to tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm sure that many of you have been together in courses in the past, but we always are interested in seeing a little bit about yourself as well as a little bit about your topic, where you are right now, and where you plan to head here in the next several weeks. I will be showing these weeks generally 1 week in advance. So the opening week will show you weeks 1 and 2. As week 2 starts, I'll open week 3. As week 3 starts, I'll have week 4 open for you. So you'll generally have a look at a week ahead as you go along in the course. So something to take note of. More information will be coming as we go through the course here. I encourage you to take a quick scan through the documents that are here, especially in the preliminary information. I do encourage you as you get started here to make a preliminary visit with your capstone mentor. That can be done through a phone conversation, or I recommend actually using a Google Hangout. If you don't have a Gmail account, if you sign up for one and you have a webcam, you will have access to Google Hangouts. You will be in contact with your capstone mentor in a formal setting about 6 times throughout the program, and it really starts in about week 4 and weeks 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14. Those are going to be weeks where you're going to interact directly with your capstone mentor. And starting week 3 with 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13, you're going to be doing some reflective work, telling us in writing how things are going. A lot of your submissions will go right into the Moodle site here, and they will be scored by your capstone mentors. And then at the end of this program, like I said, this culminates into a final oral presentation where you will have the opportunity to deliver your findings to your capstone mentor, myself as the director of the graduate studies program, as well as another person which you and your mentor will talk about including along as a part of the committee. You'll find yourself in this program seeing that the research process is not a linear path. In other words, sometimes you're going to have to take a step forward and find that you have to take a couple steps back in order to advance where you need to go. Be patient with yourself, friends, through this process. You will find this to be a rewarding experience, but not every step along the way is going to be absolutely rewarding. So give yourself the patience and the endurance to fight through some of these things. Everybody would love to have this go at a real quick clip. Sometimes you have to wrestle with some ideas. You have to wait on some other ideas as you start to collect your data and start to put together your thoughts in your findings section. So with that, I wish you God's richest blessings as you move forward. Please talk directly with your mentor should you have any questions, or you can contact me. Again, I'm Jason Lowry, and I'm privileged to be a part of this process with you, and wish you God's richest blessings as you go forward. Good luck with your progress in EDU 693.